Okay, so I guess we can go. Hi, everyone. I'm wearing this Back to the Future t-shirt today for a reason. As Doc Brown would say, your future hasn't been written yet. No one's has. Your future is whatever you make it. So make it a good one. That's especially true when it comes to audio technology. We're rewriting what's possible every day. We're thrilled you're joining us today. We're about to explore the past, the present, and future of audio production. For decades, certain audio challenges seemed impossible, like retrieving a vocal from a mixed recording or quickly dubbing content into multiple languages. Traditional tools and workflows were limited by technology, making some projects too expensive or time consuming for most creators. But now, AI audio tools are changing everything from resurrecting lost vocal tracks from 1970s cassette tapes to creating perfect translations in your CEO's voice overnight. What once took weeks of expert work can now happen in minutes, democratizing professional quality audio production. And let me tell you, this is not just a wild idea, it's today's reality. And you're about to learn how to best use these tools in your own work. Hi, everyone. My name is Christopher Wieduwilt, and welcome to this workshop. We're super excited that you're taking the time to join Danny and myself today. Rebecca Reich from Music AI is working her magic behind the scenes and will be handling the comment section. So special thanks to Rebecca for inviting me to be part of this workshop and making this possible. Feel free to drop any questions you may have during the presentation on the events page itself. And we will do our best to answer them in a short Q&A at the end of the workshop. So here's a bit about myself. I wasn't always talking about AI and music strategy. 15 years ago, I was just another broke musician who moved to London with nothing but a guitar and big dreams. The road took some turns then for me. I spent a decade helping brands like Porsche, Goodyear, L'Oreal, and Lufthansa develop their product and marketing strategies. And I learned how to turn creative ideas into practical business solutions. Today, I run the AI Musicpreneur, where I help 25,000 music creators each month. And I'm someone who's naturally curious and loves diving into rabbit holes to find ways to enhance creative ideas. So having both a struggling artist and industry strategist background, I focus on discovering tools and workflows that people can actually use and that make their work better. So that's the perspective I'm bringing to our conversation today, connecting business strategy with creative needs. I'll hand it over to Danny.
Hi, everyone. I'm Danny Brown from Music AI. I'm a solutions engineer. I'm passionate about music, a lifelong amateur musician, and I really enjoy finding opportunities to solve complex problems with AI. Streamline and automate solutions across different industries and try to make my clients' lives easier using our products. So we're going to talk through some examples of how to use creative solutions today.
Thanks very much, Danny. So, audio creation has completely changed. Tools that once required million-dollar studios and weeks of expert manipulation are now accessible through browser windows and mobile apps. For decades, certain audio challenges seemed impossible to solve, like extracting clean vocals from mixed recordings, converting speech to different languages while maintaining the original voice. These tasks required a lot of specialized equipment, rare expertise, and often delivered compromised results. This change does more than save time. It opens a lot of new doors, and we can now save historical recordings one thought lost. Small businesses can compete globally without massive localization budgets. And music tech companies, creators, producers, music production houses, they can try new ideas that were once too difficult or expensive. So here's an overview of what you'll learn in our workshop today. First, I'll show you how tools have changed audio over time, focusing on 4 key moments that changed what we could do. Second, I'll help you understand what AI in audio really means and why it matters. We'll explore the market's explosive growth potential and dive into key audio AI categories being fundamentally transformed, automating stem separation, content tagging, transcription and translation across more than 80 languages, all while maintaining the original content's nuance and meaning. Third, Danny will run live demonstration of practical applications, separating instruments for vocals, removing copyrighted music from a broadcast and showing how TV productions can now be dubbed for international markets in hours rather than days. Last, we'll explore what's coming next. Audio processing that happens instantly, creating realistic sounds from text descriptions, and personalized audio experiences, a market heading towards $18 billion by 2023. So by the end, you know how to use these tools responsibly to solve your specific audio challenges. If you're thinking, but AI can't really handle my niche, think again. Those who start using these tools now will have the edge. And this is not just about keeping up with any trends. It's about getting ahead in your field. So this is what we want to show you today. And stick around until the end. Everyone gets $30 in free credits to try music AI tools for yourself. So when I started making music, I was limited by the equipment I could afford and the skills I had. Throughout history, people faced the same challenges. Before Edison's phonograph, music existed only in the moment it was played. Before MP3s, we were stuck with bulky cassettes and CDs, which I love, by the way. The big barriers were always the same. Cost, technical know-how, and access to equipment kept most people from creating and sharing their sound. So for centuries, making quality recordings was only for professionals with expensive gear and technical training. The average person with ideas couldn't really participate. But luckily, brave innovators kept finding ways around these limitations. Edison wrapped tinfoil around a cylinder. MP3 creators compressed sound files. Software developers built affordable recording tools. Now, teenagers make hit songs in their bedrooms. Podcasters reach millions without radio stations. Independent artists find fans without record labels. Audio innovation has always been about breaking down walls, not just improving technology. So in this section, we'll explore 4 game-changing moments that did not just solve technical problems, they democratized who gets to create sound. And these stories will show you how persistence turns limitations into opportunities for everyone. Okay, so when Edison invented the phonograph in 1877, he solved one problem, but created another. Yes, he captured sound, which was a miracle at the time, but his tinfoil recordings turned to mush after just a couple of days. So the question was, who would buy a machine that couldn't reliably replay what it recorded? But luckily, here again, Edison didn't give up. 11 years later, he replaced the fragile tinfoil with more durable wax cylinders. And these held deeper grooves and could be played many times without degrading. So suddenly, offices adopted them for dictation, and the first music labels began experimenting with commercial recordings. The lesson here, innovation is not just about creating something new, it's about making it sturdy enough to survive in the real world. In 1993, MP3 compression faced industry rejection as too lossy and low quality. Digital audio files were enormous. A 3-minute song required 30 megabytes, making internet sharing impossible. And I vividly remember using a 56K modem, so you probably know what I'm talking about. The internet was booming, but audio couldn't participate due to file size limitations. Here, luckily again, German engineer Karl-Heinz Brandenburg developed algorithms that removed psychoacoustically irrelevant sounds humans wouldn't perceive. So file sizes shrank by 90%, enabling Napster, iPods, and eventually streaming, completely restructuring music distribution. The lesson here, sometimes what seems like quality loss enables unprecedented accessibility. In 2004, professional recording required 10,000 plus Pro Tools systems, placing studio quality out of reach for most musicians. Home recording existed but couldn't match commercial releases without massive investment. Independent artists couldn't afford professional-grade production tools, but then companies like Apple with GarageBand and Logic Pro and Ableton offered professional capabilities at consumer-friendly price points. Bedroom producers like Billie Eilish created Grammy-winning albums without traditional studios, democratizing music production for all. The lesson: when tools become accessible, talent emerges from unexpected places. I love the story. So the Beatles faced a decades-long challenge with their unfinished song, Now and Then. And the story begins back in the late 1970s. So I'll take you back a little. When John Lennon recorded a 5-minute piano demo at his home in the Dakota in New York City. After Lennon's death, his widow, Yoko Ono, gave Paul McCartney 2 cassette tapes in 1994, which included this home recording. And the surviving Beatles attempted to finish the song in 1995, but John's voice on the old cassette was hopelessly mixed with piano noise. Regular cleaning methods couldn't separate his vocals from the background sounds, and the song remained in limbo for decades, with Paul McCartney occasionally mentioning his desire to finish it someday. But without clear vocals, they couldn't complete the song fans had waited decades to hear. Standard audio filters either damaged the unique qualities of Lennon's voice or left piano sounds behind. Then came the breakthrough. So for Peter Jackson's Get Back documentary, his team created an AI system called MAL, M-A-L, that learned exactly how Lennon's voice sounded, finally letting them pull it cleanly from the recording. So when released in 2023, the song became a worldwide hit and was even awarded a Grammy. Lennon's voice sounded crystal clear, as if he'd recorded it in a modern studio. So this shows how AI fixes problems we used to think were unfixable. Throughout history, we've seen this pattern. Wax cylinders made recordings last. MP3s made them easy to share. And digital workstations let anyone create music. Today's AI tools are just the next step in solving what seemed impossible. The Beatles bringing back Lennon's voice is not the end of the story. It's actually just the beginning of audio's next big change. The technology evolves, but the point stays the same. Clever solutions turn impossible into possible. So I used to mix and master music myself. And let me tell you, I was not good at it. As an independent musician, I couldn't afford to hire a professional engineer back in the day. So I spent countless hours watching tutorials and tweaking knobs I barely understood. I wasted so much time, creative time, struggling with technical skills that weren't really my strength, and my songs still never sounded as polished as professional tracks. Mixing and mastering require years of training and expensive gear. And I was trying to learn these complex skills out of necessity, not passion. And it kind of showed in my results actually a lot. But then AI mixing and mastering tools appeared. And these systems had already learned from thousands of professionally mixed tracks. And I could apply those patterns to my music. So now I can actually get professional sounding results in minutes instead of days. My music sounds better than ever. And I can focus on what I actually love, which is creating songs. AI in audio uses neural networks that learn from vast amounts of data rather than follow rigid rules. Some AI tools enhance existing recordings, like my music, while others can create entirely new sounds from text prompts. In this workshop, we'll focus on AI tools that process existing audio, empowering a lot of music and audio professionals with new tools that work alongside their skills, while also helping creators who might not have expensive gear or specialized training. So remember spending days pulling individual instruments from songs in your studio, or when your licensing company couldn't organize thousands of tracks without hiring more people. Those headaches are fading fast. AI audio software is taking off in a big way, grown from 3.8 billion in 2023 to an expected 18 billion by 2033. And North America leads with 36% of the market, which is about 1.6 billion, because America uses so much tech in games, VR, and films. So for years, skilled professionals mastered techniques that made content sound professional, but these specialized skills created barriers. Independent artists and creators couldn't afford quality mixing, Broadcasters got stuck when translating content for other countries, and production companies wasted hours manually searching music libraries for the right track. The problem wasn't that skilled professionals didn't exist. They absolutely did, and they do. But many independent creators couldn't access them due to limited budgets. And on top of that, and I was in that as well, depending on where you lived, sometimes finding local talent could be really tough. The big industry players could afford to hire the best, while independent creators often were left scrambling for affordable solutions. Now, AI audio tools are changing this. About 40% of production houses use AI already in their workflows. Nearly 70% of these tools work with cloud platforms, making them available to teams of any size. And 37% of music libraries now use AI to tag and organize their collections. These tools don't replace experts. They make their skills more powerful and available to more people. So while AI handles the tedious tasks, professionals can focus on creative choices that matter to them. A music library that took months to organize is now searchable by mood, speed, and instruments in just days. Broadcast companies can quickly translate content without sacrificing quality. Studios can pull clean instrument tracks from songs for creative reimagining. Today's successful audio professionals see these technologies as extensions of their craft, tools that handle repetitive work while freeing up creative energy. So whether you run a recording studio, manage music, or work in broadcasting, these AI audio tools are becoming essential. The question isn't whether you'll use them, but how they expand what you can create. Okay, so before exploring these powerful AI audio tools, you might wonder, how are real creators actually using this technology? Fast Company partnered with Whaler Group to answer this question through a survey of creative professionals across different fields. Notably, Fast Company listed also Music AI among their 10 most innovative companies in 2025 to watch next to SoundCloud, TuneCore, and others. The results show how AI is changing creative work. Production speed got the most positive ratings, 44% very positive, followed by idea generation, 35%, with marketing and revenue generation tied for third, 25% each. And these benefits connect with each other. When AI handles, let's say, like the less exciting task like transcription or tagging, creators get more time for what they really care about, thinking up new ideas and trying them out. Many people also said in the survey that AI lets them test ideas quickly without needing expensive equipment. So while image-based AI tools like Midjourney, 28%, and Adobe Firefly, 90%, are currently more popular, audio AI is catching up real fast as more creators discover how it can transform their work. All right, now let's talk about how AI audio tools actually work in everyday production. So as this technology grows toward that $18 billion mark, today we'll explore 4 types of AI audio tools that are changing how professionals work. Audio experts used to hit technical walls they couldn't get past, like pulling vocals from a finished song or consistently organizing thousands of files. These are possible with regular tools, limiting what people could actually create. Today's AI tools solve these problems through 4 main approaches. First, we've got stem separation, pulls apart vocals or instruments for mixed tracks, making formerly kind of like impossible task. I never tried it myself, like cleaning up Lennon's voice routine. The other 3 are just as important. Metadata and classification automatically labels files so you can find them easily. Transcription turns speech into searchable text. And translation converts content into over 80 languages while keeping the emotional feeling intact. These AI tools do more than save time. They open up a lot of new creative options that weren't technically possible just 5 years ago. So from saving old recordings to quickly preparing content for worldwide release, these tools have become must-haves for professionals who want to keep up. So let's examine each category and see how they're being used in actual productions. Remember when finding the perfect song didn't matter if you couldn't separate its parts? This problem has annoyed audio professionals for decades. The old way of separating stems forced engineers to spend hours of using EQ filters that often hurt sound quality, making many creative ideas impossible. And this created a serious bottleneck. Production studios couldn't rework existing tracks, old recordings stayed locked in their final form, interactive experiences couldn't adapt to users, and licensing opportunities were missed because of time constraints. The complicated sound patterns in finished recordings made clean separation basically impossible with traditional tools, forcing professionals to either compromise or waste time on workarounds. Now, AI can analyze these complex patterns to split any recording into clean stems, vocals, drums, bass, and more, in seconds instead of days, while keeping the sound quality intact. And this transformation is wild. Production studios create clean instrumentals for voiceovers instantly. Sync licensing teams deliver instrumentals immediately for film placements. Old recordings are getting revived as Dolby Atmos remasters, for example. Interactive experience now change sound based on what players do right when they do it. What used to take days now takes minutes, opening up a lot of creative options and new income from existing music collections that were previously stuck in their final mixes. And this is just one way AI tools are changing audio production. So as we look at each category, you'll see how these technologies are solving problems that have stumped the industry for decades. Okay, so after seeing how AI changes stem separation, let's look at another big problem: organizing and finding audio in huge collections. I'm pretty sure you've spent hours searching your music library for just the right track, or given up looking for a specific sound effect because it seemed impossible to find, right? And I've been there too, and it's incredibly frustrating. Before AI, audio organization was, let's say, a mess. One person would label a song jazz, another blues, and someone else might call it fusion. This inconsistency created problems for everyone, from producers to streaming platforms to listeners. These organization problems had real costs too. Artists lost money because their work wasn't properly tagged for royalty payments. Production teams wasted hours manually searching thousands of files, and finding something specific like uplifting orchestral loops at 120 BPM in C major meant listening to file after file. The problem existed because people tag audio inconsistently. We each hear music differently, use different terms, and organize things differently. Plus, manual tagging thousands of audio files is boring work that nobody wants to do, leading to shortcuts and mistakes. AI classification tools now automatically analyze the actual sound in audio files. They identify genres, moods, instruments, tempo, key, and even subtle qualities like texture or brightness. So this creates consistent, detailed tags across entire libraries. So suddenly producers can find the perfect sound with a simple search. Streaming platforms can recommend truly similar music. And sound designers can quickly find that exact door creak they need for a scene. And yeah, the results have been remarkable. Music libraries have turned disorganized collections into searchable assets that make money. Music licensing companies now quickly match content creators with the right music using smart tagging. Post-production teams find sound effects in seconds instead of hours. Streaming platforms offer highly personalized recommendations based on the actual musical qualities you like. So what used to take teams of people now happens automatically and more accurately. AI is not just making audio work a lot easier, it's making it also better, but by taking care of the less, let's say, like the less exciting classification work. AI lets creators be more creative, which I think is really cool. So whether you make music, design sound, or you run a streaming platform, these tools, I know you've heard that 1,000 times, but they don't replace human creativity. They enhance it by removing the technical roadblocks that used to slow down everyone. Okay, so moving past classification, let's look at how AI transforms the slow process of transcribing speech and lyrics. Remember searching for a specific quote in an hour-long broadcast, or spending days matching lyrics to music for a video? Let me tell you a personal story. So I once spent an entire weekend manually aligning subtitles to a documentary, and I never want to repeat that process again. Transcription was incredibly slow across industries. Professionals spend 46 hours manually transcribing each hour of audio, reaching only 94% accuracy at best. And matching lyrics to music or dialogue to video frames required a lot of careful adjustments, often second by second. So these manual processes created serious bottlenecks. Broadcasters couldn't quickly find key moments for highlights. Music publishers delayed lyric video releases. Libraries couldn't make their audio archives searchable, and making content accessible to hearing impaired audiences was so expensive that many creators simply skipped it. The problem existed because human ears and typing speeds have limits. Even professional transcriptionists could only work so fast, and matching text to exact audio timestamps required constant rewinding and adjusting. So this specialized work created major expenses and delays for broadcasting companies, record labels, and content creators. AI speech-to-text models have transformed this process entirely. They transcribed audio 3 times faster with high accuracy, while you're automatically providing precise timestamp alignment. Broadcasting teams can now instantly navigate through programs to find key segments for highlights. Record labels can create word-by-word lyric videos in minutes instead of hours. Libraries can make thousands of hours of historical recordings searchable by keyword. And the impact is huge across industries. Researchers search through large audio archives, which I just said, to find specific mentions instantly. Broadcasting networks easily adapt content for digital platforms. We got music marketers and record labels make engaging lyric videos for social media much faster than before. Live concert producers create synchronized lyrics and captions, making shows accessible for all audience members. AI transcription saves so much time while creating new opportunities. So by handling the tedious transcription and alignment work, professionals can actually focus on creativity and strategy instead of manual tasks. So for everyone working in broadcasting, music production, research, or content creation, this technology makes audio content a lot more useful, accessible, and effective for connecting with audiences. All right, now that we've seen how AI handles transcription, let's look at how it breaks down language barriers. This is our last category before we go to the practical applications. Probably its most impressive feature for creators who want to reach global audiences: translation and localization. So going global used to be something only big studios could afford. Independent creators watched their content stay in a single language while large companies dominated international markets. Traditional dubbing and localization were expensive bottlenecks. Projects required hiring voice actors for each language, costing thousands of dollars and delaying international releases by month. Cultural mismatches in music or sound design often reduced engagement in foreign markets. This created huge barriers for most content creators. TV shows faced long delays between markets. Game developers couldn't afford to translate for multiple languages. Even e-learning companies had to choose between limited reach or enormous translation budgets. And marketing campaigns lost impact and forced into a one-size-fits-all global versions. The problem existed because traditional localization meant rebuilding content from scratch for each market. Every language needed separate voice actors, recording studios, audio engineers, and cultural consultants. The complexity and cost meant only the biggest companies could truly go global, leaving a lot of creators limited to their home markets. AI translation tools have completely changed this situation. And the results are changing everything across industries. Media companies launch global campaigns at the same time rather than one region after another. Marketing agencies keep their core message intact while adapting cultural references for different regions. We got small game studios compete worldwide without spending huge amounts on translation. Even educational content reaches international students without needing separate production teams for each country. All right, so let's summarize what we've covered about AI and audio before moving on. I know it's been a lot. AI audio tools fix problems that have frustrated professionals for decades. These technologies pull vocals from music, organize files accurately, convert speech to text, and translate content, all faster than people ever could. They're becoming popular because they handle the less interesting parts of audio work, giving everyone more time to focus on what really matters, making great content that connects with audiences. So all this theory is great, but what does AI audio look like in actual production environments? Let's examine 3 real scenarios where professionals are using these tools to solve problems that once seemed impossible. We'll start with stem separation. I'll hand it over to Danny.
Thanks, Chris. Okay, I'm going to walk through a few scenarios to illustrate the way that AI tools can be combined in new creative ways, and talk through some of the scenarios that Chris shared earlier. We're going to start with something real simple. And here I am in Music AI, a platform with a catalog of AI tools that I'm going to combine into a few different ways. And we're going to start with something real straightforward. We're going to take a piece of music, and create an instrumental version with just a few steps. So I'm going to create a workflow using these drag and drop AI modules, connect a few digital wires to select the outputs that I want. So I'm going to select the vocals. I'm going to grab the instrumental stem, everything that remains, and I'll grab the original as well so we can give it a listen. I'm going to process it with this file here and give it a listen, make sure this workflow is doing what I expect. Okay, let's hear how it sounds. Starting with the original. Okay, now let's hear those vocals. What you see, what you feel, all I get. And the instrumental. Okay, sounds pretty good. Very simple, very straightforward. This workflow is now available. I could call this via API and process my catalog of music and easily generate those instrumental songs to be distributed or shared for whatever projects I'm working on. And I can also now combine it with a few other types of AI tools. Now that I have that clean lyric stem, for example, I could transcribe high quality lyrics without the extra signal from all of the audio in that song. Alternatively, I could grab the beats and chords to generate a chart to share with my band or to upload to a Guitar Tab website. And so you can start to see that even with just combining a few different AI tools, there are a lot of ways to solve challenging problems, start to create new revenue streams, or monetize my work in different ways. So now that you've seen this very quick view of the back-end processing, this development tool to create AI workflows, I want to show you what a user experience might look like powered by AI. So this is Moises. This is an application for musicians that uses Music AI for all of the background processing to give musicians a whole suite of AI tools. So here I can grab a piece of music, select which stems I want to grab from that, and then open it up in this DAW-like experience where I can control levels, control the mix, mute or separate. I can change the tempo, do all the kinds of manipulation and analysis that I, as a musician, would like to wrap my head around this song. Maybe I'm a bass player in a band, which I am in real life, who's not a great bass player, so I can use all the help I can get to understand what's going on here.
Oh, gotta kiss myself, so pretty. So I, the police.
Okay. So I've got this suite of tools that makes it easier for me as a musician. It's in this nice layer here of everything visualized and at my fingertips. And once again, just a reminder that it's all coming from this back end that we looked at before. It's just a combination of different AI tools connecting inputs to outputs that are powering lyric transcription, chord transcription, tempo shift, etc. Okay, so we've seen this back end, we've seen a front end experience here. Now I want to talk about a couple more slightly complicated scenarios, jumping from the perspective of a developer building workflows or a musician using this tool. Now I'm going to jump over to the role of a social media manager. So let's say that I am working for a sports team and we've got all kinds of videos that are generated during the game that need to be reviewed, edited, and posted as close to real time as possible. Um, Obviously challenging. Takes video editor, takes somebody to record, takes somebody to post, and it's difficult to do that around game time. So let me show you an example of what I mean. Let me start that over. Okay, real simple example, but if you listen closely, you can hear there is music in the background that's copyrighted. That's going to be a challenge if I upload this to YouTube as is. Alternatively, I can use Music AI to quickly upload that file and identify what music is present, maybe identify some additional metadata if I was going to identify some replacement music from my production library to use instead. Or if I want something that's truly simplified, I could run it through this workflow to remove the music entirely. Both of these workflows are powered by a different kind of stem separation. So rather than identifying the instruments from a song, we're separating music and dialogue and background effects from a video. With that isolated music, we can easily remove it and leave all of the other sound effects. Let me show you what that sounds like. Okay, so we've got that version that doesn't have any copyright risk ready for YouTube, complete with the squeak of the sneakers and the sound of the ball bouncing off the background and keeping the experience without using music that we haven't licensed. It's also ready to be mixed with other production music if I wanted to make a more final project. Okay, the last example that I'm going to walk through is a bit more complicated. So one of the cases that Chris described was translation and localization, something that usually requires a number of people with different skills and a few different uh, tools as well. What I have here is going to take a video, use that same cinematic stem separation to isolate the dialogue, transcribe it, translate it, transfer it to a voice model that I have trained based on the original voice to capture the original speaker's the character of their speech. And then I'm going to mix everything back together to generate a final product. And I jump you over to show you an example. Rather than taking weeks or months to rework this video in the catalog of content, I can upload a folder of videos and within a few minutes have a translated localized video that's ready to share to my fans in Korea. Here's the original.
So here I am with my PC running the Qualcomm state-of-the-art Snapdragon new generation of chips. That's what makes this magic happen. Let's.
Okay, short clip.
그래서 여기 나는 내 PC와 함께 퀄컴의 최첨단 스냅드래곤 새로운 세대 칩을 실행하고 있습니다. 이것이 이 마법을
Okay, so once again, processed in just a few minutes. Now I have this clip that's available that could be translated to any language, keeping the character of my voice model and ready to share to social media or what other channels I have. I hope this has been illustrative in showing how we've got this library of AI tools that can be combined in a lot of new and creative ways to solve real business challenges and creative challenges that previously were extremely expensive or complicated. So with that, I will pass it back to Chris.
Thanks, Danny. So digital content teams traditionally spend countless hours on tedious audio tasks. So Danny just showed you a number of good examples, and I want to give you a short summary of what we just saw. Stripping vocals, we saw localizing content. Everything was expensive and painfully slow. And as Danny just demonstrated, AI tools can now separate audio stems from music tracks and classify content with incredible precision. But using these tools separately only scratches the surface. So most companies use these powerful AI tools in isolation, missing the actual potential that comes with combining them together. So each tool already delivers impressive results on its own. But as Danny showed, how stem separation cleanly extracts vocals from instruments in seconds, and how classification tools can identify copyrighted music and broadcast for compliance. These individual capabilities solve specific challenges, but they're just the beginning. The real magic actually happens when you connect these workflows. Stem separation creates clean tracks, metadata tools organize them intelligently, and combined workflows transform content for global audiences in one seamless process. So what once took weeks now happens basically in hours. A single video can be perfectly adapted for multiple markets, music separated, copyrighted content identified and replaced, vocals translated, and everything reassembled automatically. The individual tools solve specific pain points, but their true power, so to speak, emerges when you combine them. Organizations that integrate these AI capabilities into comprehensive workflows will multiply definitely in their impact and transform their content production capabilities over time. All right, so these three examples show how AI transforms real audio workflows. Now, let's look ahead at emerging audio AI trends you can't afford to miss. These technologies will reshape how we create, distribute, and monetize sound in the coming years. So remember when you were watching that movie, and I love this use case, by the way, and you couldn't hear the dialogue over the explosions, or when you were on a video call and background noise drowned out the speaker. We've all been there, stuck with this one-size-fits-all audio that just doesn't work. So for years, audio processing has been limited. Either you adjust the volume, up and down, or you use cloud-based AI that lags because it needs internet connection. And neither solution gives you real control over what you actually want to hear. The real issue is that traditional audio systems can separate different sounds in real time. So when matching sports, you can turn down just the commentators. During movies, you can boost only the dialogue. Everything comes as one package. And this happens because separating audio elements like voices, music, and background sounds require complex AI processing. Until now, this kind of processing was too demanding to turn directly on our everyday devices, to run directly on our everyday devices. And that's where Edge AI comes in. So by running powerful AI directly on devices using new chips like Qualcomm Snapdragon, for example, you can now separate audio stems in real time without needing the internet. And this means you can adjust just the crowd noise at a soccer game, for instance, or turn up only the dialogue in a movie. The tech runs 35 times faster than on regular processors, ensuring low latency. It works across TVs, cars, smartphones, and professional audio equipment. So just picture this for a moment, customizing exactly what you hear in any situation. That's what on-device AI for audio offers. Smart volume control gives you the power to shape your environment exactly as you want it. So the days of all or nothing volume adjustments are definitely over at this point. By bringing AI processing to the edge, we're putting you in control of your audio environment like never before. And Music AI has made this a reality with their Moises Live technology, teaming up with Snapdragon chips to deliver AI smart volume control that works right on your device. And I've got a cool video that I would love to show you at this point.
So when we started the company and Geraldo came with the first concept and the idea of separating the stems, we were like, wait, if we can apply this to run in real time, that's the dream, right? Imagine you're watching a soccer game and now you can simply tune up or down the crowd. Well, let's suppose that you get disturbed about sound effects of a movie. Now you can tune down and adjust the volume to focus on the dialogue.
I've never heard anything like it.
Moises was amazing when it wasn't live, but now that it's live, just opens up so much innovation.
Moises has been a key player in the AI industry, and our AI models on the cloud has been state-of-the-art for the past couple of years.
With these new generation of AI chips, it's now possible to run these AI models locally, doing that separation on the fly.
The idea is to maximize the number of operations running on an NPU, so it's faster. We can put better models, and it runs 35 times faster than the CPU.
So here I am with my PC running the Qualcomm state-of-the-art Snapdragon new generation of chips. That's what makes this magic happen. Let's play the song and I'll move around some volumes and you can see what happens in real time.
We believe that this new technology will basically create a new world of possibilities. Consumer electronics won't be the same, from pro audio to cars, soundbars, TVs. If there's audio, you can have our AI there. And that's the beauty of it.
Imagine the implications for this in any kind of audio environment that you're in. You can basically customize your own listening experience. I am super excited about this.
And this revolution starts on Snapdragon's X series Windows PCs.
All right. Let me tell you, it's so cool to see Jordan Rudess talking about smart volume control. I'm a big Dream Theater fan. I love their Images and Words album. So while Edge AI works well for everyday users, you've just seen that, I've been thinking about how it might help professional sound engineers someday. And the research in this area looks quite promising. So think about sound engineers at big concerts, for instance. They're constantly watching for problems like feedback, that awful screeching sound, or when one instrument bleeds into another microphone. Right now, they have to fix these issues after they happen, which can be pretty stressful during a live show, right? Current mixing boards require engineers to manually adjust everything. So if a singer hits a high note and suddenly the drums are bleeding into their mic, the engineer has to react quickly. But the audience has already heard the problem most of the time. In the future, mixing consoles might use Edge AI with processors like Snapdragon chips to help prevent these issues. And the technology could separate different sound sources in real time and automatically adjust equalization before problems get out of hand. For example, the system might detect the specific frequency causing feedback and mute just that frequency instantly, right on the device without any delay. This could be especially helpful at festivals where sound conditions are usually unpredictable. I have to tell you, I did find a VST plugin that attempts to do this, but it's still experimental somewhat and not quite ready for professional use yet. So there's a lot of research happening in this field. So it'll definitely be interesting to see where it goes. But it's cool to think that instead of just reacting to sound problems, engineers might someday be able to prevent them, which would take away many headaches too. So NVIDIA's project Fugato shows where sound creation is heading next. So this is our next example. So while Music AI's edge technology you just saw manages existing audio, Fugato can do both, create completely new sounds from scratch, but also adapt existing audio. So you could, if you take a look at the a little bit later, you could type medieval castle at midnight and immediately deliver results. The system produces, creaking wood, old calls, and wind sounds without using any recordings. Fugato also transforms existing sounds. And now you can take a look at the screenshot. I'll tell a little bit about this. So it creates multiple variations from a single original recording. Look at the screenshot. So Fugato goes beyond just changing your voice to sound like someone else. It can actually transform the emotion in existing recording. So you could take a calm section and make it sound angry without re-recording. You might know 11 Labs. So unlike 11 Labs, which focuses on converting speech to different voices, Fugato works with your already recorded audio to create new variations with different emotional qualities while keeping the original content intact. And Fugato helps both sound designers and voice actors work more efficiently. Sound designers can transform existing recordings instead of scheduling new sessions, while voice actors can deliver a single solid performance that can be then afterwards modified later for different emotional tones or character variations, let's say, giving everyone involved in that process more flexibility in the production. So I have to say Fugato is still in development right now, but if you want to check it out, you can search Fugato GitHub on Google and listen to quite a few examples. It's pretty cool. Okay, so we just talked about 11 Labs a little. A while ago, they also rolled out a new feature. Their text-to-sound tool gives audio professionals a fresh new way to create sounds on the go. So instead of working with existing sounds, this system creates custom effects from written descriptions. So text to sound. And the technology produces 4 high-quality sound samples in seconds. All samples are copyright-free and controlled through text descriptions. And that creates a lot of new possibilities for creators. They can build complex environments, replace hours of editing with instant results, or make sounds that can't be recorded naturally. But I should add as a disclaimer here, the technology still has room to improve. So not every generated sound is production ready yet. Still, the sound design field is changing really, really fast. And this shift will permanently transform how we create audio environments. Okay, so AI sound effects are changing production workflows, but the next advancement takes personalization further. Adaptive audio that responds to you in real time. So while NVIDIA and 11 Labs expand on creation possibilities, there's also another shift that is happening. AI that tailors your listening experience using biometrics, location, and behavior patterns. Take Endel, for example. Their app generates endless personalized soundscapes that adapt to your inputs in real time, using your local weather, time of day, walking cadence, and even heart rate from your Apple Watch to create the perfect audio environment. Your fitness app could monitor your heart rate during runs. It would adjust your music tempo to match your pace and keep you motivated. Current ads are 40%. This is another exciting example. Current ads are 40% irrelevant to users, to listeners. And soon podcast sponsorships will mention stores you actually shop at. It really goes through all of the industries. Wellness apps will improve too. So in Dell's scenario are already showing how meditation sessions might detect stress through your smartwatch and automatically switch to more calming sounds. So this blend of biology and digital tech opens doors for brands to create sound experiences that adapt to what you need right now. So when AI customizes audio just for you, brands can really stand out and keep users interested. And this creates new chances for those who make content. All right, so we've seen how AI is changing audio in 3 key ways now. And Edge AI gives sound engineers real-time control. We got generative AI that creates custom effects from text, and personalization technology that adapts sound to our physical state. And this marks a complete change in how we interact with sound. So you're probably asking, what should audio professionals do now? And there's 4 tips that I'd like to give to you. Get AI-equipped hardware. Look for devices, for instance, with dedicated processors that run AI without the internet. We just talked about the Edge AI case for live sound engineers, for instance. ARM-based systems like Qualcomm, Snapdragon, or NVIDIA Jetson, for instance, they handle instant audio processing well. Master prompt writing. I cannot state this more, but be specific when you're working with AI. May that be like a sound generator or a text to speech. Instead of, let's say, like if you're on a sound generator, instead of rain, try heavy rain on metal roof with distant thunder. That's a better prompt. Try to think of it as better prompts create better results, and hone that skill and craft as you go along. Don't give up. It's a lot of trial and error, and believe me, I went down this rabbit hole so many times. I do it every day. But it's worth it because the results will compound over time and it gets better. Design adaptive audio. So you could create experiences that change based on user actions or feelings. Static, uniform audio is becoming outdated now. Understand limitations though. AI sounds need refinement. So develop a workflow with feedback loops. Feedback loops are very, very important. When I, for instance, create content, I do use AI, but I never use it 100%. So maybe 70 to 80%. What this does is the 20 to 30% that you put on top for quality control, you also make sure that you don't lose your skills actually writing. And that applies also to sound engineering. So develop a workflow where AI creates initial sounds or the audio files, then you perfect them. And also consider privacy when using biometric data for personalization. That's very important. Okay, so I truly believe success comes from more than just using AI tools. I have to say it comes from integrating them into experiences that balance tech with human connection. Future sound responds to who we are and what we need. So we've seen where AI audio is heading, and talk is cheap, but taking action really matters. So let's move beyond dreaming and focus on what we can do today. People jumping on this technology now save hours of work while positioning themselves in a market grown to 18 billion. Audio professionals who start using AI today will lead the pack tomorrow. And the team at Moises, at Music AI, is offering you $30 in free credits to try their tools. You can pull apart audio tracks in real time, automatically organize your music library, or translate videos into different languages. So whether you mix sound, produce podcasts, or design game audio, these tools can really make your work faster and unlock a lot of new creative paths. And the best part is you're already here. So you've taken the first step by understanding what's possible. Now put these tools to work and turn your what if into what's next. Okay, so now that you understand where AI audio is headed, here's how to actually get started. And I just mentioned Music AI is giving you $30 in free credit to try different AI audio models like stem separation, metadata, classification tools, transcription, translation, and so much more. To make this easier, I'll show you a short video how to redeem your voucher. So you go to Music, put your details, check the checkboxes. Then once you're signed up, you just go to login. I'm logging in, navigate to billing, and click on add credits, go to coupon, and input stay ahead _ AI. And then you're ready to go. Okay, so I just showed you how to redeem the voucher. Once you're set up, start small. Experiment with one AI tool this month, for instance. Maybe try stem separation to isolate vocals for a remix. Clean up background noise in a podcast recording, or transcribe your video to get it ready for translation, then dubbing. There's no need to overhaul your entire workflow now. Just test one specific feature and then build upon that. Next, find your specialty. So the pros who succeed with AI aren't the generalists. They own specific niches. So maybe you'll become known as, for, I don't know, AI-driven podcast editing that saves hours of work for others, or perhaps voice cloning for creating consistent ad campaigns. Then this is a bonus tip. So finally, reach out to AI startups directly. There's many that offer beta programs where you can test new features before anyone else. And these partnerships give you early access to cutting edge tools, while it also helps developers improve their products. So the future of audio AI is happening now. The question is, will you be part of shaping it? If you'd like to future-proof your career in audio and music, you can also join 1,400 music pros in the AI Musicpreneur newsletter. Every Wednesday there, I'll share AI tools, prompts, and strategies to help you save time and master music promotion and production. So head over to aimusicpreneur.com now, and you can grab 2 free gifts when you sign up and confirm your email address. So for music and audio pros, I got a curated list of AI tools for mixing, mastering, stem separation, music generation, chord and melody progressions, voice cloning, and more. For indie artists, managers, AI prompts, I've got AI prompts. So it's a prompt library for writing biographies, TikTok scripts, press releases, newsletters, etc. And that's crafted especially for musicians, artist managers, labels, content managers, PR agents, and more. One more thing, if you sign up, you will notice that every week you do get, if that is reason enough to sign up, one 80s movie reference that ties into one lesson that I give out for music production and promotion, how to use AI. And I did have Back to the Future in the past, Ghostbusters, 16 Candles. So definitely grab a sign up if you like. Cool. Okay, so last famous words. Thanks for joining our workshop today. So the skills you gain today give you real advantages in the audio field. These AI tools can change a lot how you work with sound, whether you're mixing, creating, or producing. Everyone here that has attended today has a head start. You know about technology many others haven't discovered yet. The people who start using these tools now will help shape what's next in audio. So your creativity plus these AI tools can help you make things you couldn't before. And I can wait to hear and see what you create. Thanks, everyone. Okay. Let's take a look at some questions if we've got any.
Well, I want to start with the question from Andy Sturmer. Are there any potential downsides to de-incentivizing specialized skills acquisition, mixing, mastering, sound design, etc., among music creators by outsourcing those tasks to AI tools? And Chris, I want to hear your thoughts, but my first thought is I think Chris's comparison to the past technological advancements is a great place to start. I do think the shift to AI tools today can enhance somebody's technical skills, can enable to do things that they couldn't do before, and can even help with some creative aspects, right? Help me generate some ideas or come up with a new way to do something. But they're not a replacement for taste. They're not a replacement for um, honed, specialized skills. That a lot of these are about scalability, affordability, ease of use, but I don't expect they're going to replace somebody who has been mixing and mastering for 15 years and knows the tool and knows how to make that hit track. That's not something that I expect is going to be replaced by AI quickly. But for somebody like me who doesn't know anything about mixing, I just know what I want the result to sound like. There are some great tools out there that can get me really close really easily. And since I'm, uh, and that's good for my situation and for I think for a lot of scenarios as well. Chris, what do you think?
Yeah, you're hitting a lot of very, very good spots and points. So we've got the obvious. You can save time, you can work on your workflow, which is improving. You've got that cost reduction, but at the end of the day, it depends on the pain point that you have. Not every one of us is a generalist and has all the skills available in the world. So for me, like I showed you that example. I love writing songs and I love playing guitar, but I'm very terrible at mixing and mastering. And back in the day, I was not able to afford mixing and mastering. So, and there's definitely a lot of other creators out there worldwide that don't have that access in the same way that they don't have access to education sometimes. And the democratization of these tools that gives small creators a chance is great, because think about it like this. There's a really great movie, an independent movie that was successful in, I don't know, let's say like Thailand or Indonesia. But because of the budget constraints, they would never be able to launch in other markets. And having new tools available to support that creation process is just great to me. There's another example that springs to mind. I'm frequently talking about with mixing and mastering professionals, and there's just some parts of the process of mixing and mastering that are very, very tedious work. So, and one thing in particular is the import process of importing your audio files into Pro Tools or Logic Pro or anything like that. So there is an AI tool existing called Fort that takes over that entire audio import process for you. It color codes your different tracks. It automatically structures them. So let's say there's 100 files, and sometimes you will definitely have a file that says ABC underscore 123, and you have to listen to that file to really identify, is that a guitar, or is that maybe the second vocals, or is that the drums? And that tool just takes it over. It listens to your audio with AI, and then it automatically organizes them. Color coding, categorization. They got strip silence as well. So the point is, these kind of tools, they're good enhancements because they directly go into the pain points that you have. So always ask yourself, what are the pain points that you would like to relieve, and are there solutions out there that can help me?
Okay, question from Julia Anderson. Are these stems stock or did you upload something else? Those stems were separated live in that demonstration that I showed. That demo track that I used is about a minute long, and it's available to everybody for free to use as a test, or you can upload your own songs and separate which stems you're interested in using.
Okay. Any more? That's all the questions. All right, Becky, thank you.